Just trust me. I need your help, and I'm explaining the situation to you now. No, we had to be all mysterious about it, so that we could watch 10 episodes of nothing! Alright everybody, welcome back to Toilet Trek. This is Toilet Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 10, Farewell. Farewell to Picard. I hope he's not coming back. I hope he's dead. I hope everybody in this show just disappears. I don't know what the point of this was. You'd think if you're designing a Star Trek season and you have the season centering around the success of a certain ship performing a certain mission, in this case it's the mission to Europa, you would think that you would show the ship. Okay? The Shango, as it's referred to, seems to be entirely confined within the fairings and nose cone of a rocket. I don't know if it docks with a ship in orbit. I don't know what that ship looks like. All I've seen was the mission patch. You strung me along for 10 episodes. We revealed the details of the Europa mission like 4 episodes in, maybe? And then you made me watch another 6, hoping I was gonna see the Europa mission. It didn't happen. What was the point of any of this? That's my key takeaway. I didn't get to see the one thing I wanted to see since the beginning. I wanted to see this thing on screen since before the season. The Europa mission ship. I saw pictures of it when this season was in production. They were showing pictures that, like, from the set, and you could see these posters for this mission. I wanted to see the ship on screen. Come on, guys. I can't even... It almost defies belief here. Okay? It is standing in stark contrast to what you would normally accept as a show. It is so obvious that this last episode was supposed to take up like 5 episodes. It is obvious that something happened during production. I don't know what it was, but we had to do about 6 episodes of nothing. Wheel spinning. We had to spin our wheels for about 6 episodes during construction. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was money or some other extraordinary circumstance. But this season, you can watch the first episode, the last episode, and be done with it. You can finish the plot that fast. Watch the first episode, second episode, and then skip the last one. You're done. It's... Time travel plots are hard. Don't do them unless you're a genius. Normally, in reality, A happens, which causes B to happen, and then because B happened, C can happen. But in time travel, sometimes C can affect A. Okay? Think about how hard that is to write. These guys cannot write plot that goes from A to B to C. And they sure as shit cannot write C to A. Or A all the way to Z. And then Z and back again. They can't write any of it. None of it makes sense. You have created a season of Star Trek that you were not allowed to think about. If you think about it, it fails. That's what they have just achieved. So don't think about it. This episode and the episode before this completely shattered my ability to accept that it could ever get better. Okay, we had season 1. You tricked me. Fool me once. Okay, shame on me. You strung me along for these 10 episodes. Now I feel stupid. I feel like it was my fault that I waited for anything good to happen, hoping beyond hope that in season 2, episode 10, maybe we could resolve something. Well, you know what? The episode ended. Season 2 is over. So there you go. We ended it. That's pretty good. You managed to get to the finish line. You know, you got to the end of the finish line with your pants around your ankles, covered in diarrhea. That's what you did. This episode is better than the previous one, but take your pick, okay? You can have this steaming pile of garbage, or you can have this steaming pile of garbage, but there's a little bit less of it, so when you eat it, it's gone. It's gone faster. It's over. It ends. What am I supposed to say? Okay? How do I logically walk you through the plot of this episode when I can't even follow it as I'm watching it? This episode and the one before, they're in a totally different realm than episodes 4, 5, 6, 7. We had 3 episodes of insanity, 5 episodes of nothing happening at all, and then 2 episodes more of insanity at a level that I previously thought was impossible. This episode and the one before it, these are going to be studied for years. Make no mistake, the ending of Season 2 of Star Trek Picard will be studied for generations to come. We will be digging up its bones. Little kids will be walking around it with toothbrushes, brushing off the dirt, trying to find out what went so horribly wrong. Okay? Expect many videos in the future, not from me, but from everybody else. Okay? You need a diagram now to explain this season. You need to have a clear and concise diagram to explain the plot of the season, because apparently the writers did not have one when they started, and they did not have one by the end. Okay? Spoiler alert, this season began with the seemingly the invasion of the Borg. The Borg queen at the time did not reveal her face. Final episode. We just snap back to that. The Borg queen reveals her face. It was this character that we know, Girardi. Okay, it's the cat's out of the bag. Girardi was the Borg queen all along. How? Girardi needed to go back in time to become the Borg queen, to allow the Borg queen to invade in the first episode. But yet we know that the alternate timeline theory applies for this season. Because we know that when we go back in time, we are in the alternate past. Because the events of the past have not occurred in this new timeline, because Guinan does not know Picard. But when we go back in time, make Girardi the Borg queen, apparently that fixes the timeline that we're in there. You get it? We're back to the correct timeline, even though it can't be. Because Girardi was... One moment, the past had to happen this way. And the next moment, it had to happen this way. In the next scene, we're in a different past, so it doesn't matter. And then the next scene, the past is important again. Okay? So, the time travel does not play logically inside its own frame of reference. The Borg Queen can apparently sense other timelines, similar to Guinan. That's fair, okay. So if the Borg Queen could sense the timeline where Girardi had taught the Borg to be nice and happy and look for friends, why didn't it work the other way? Why did the Borg Queen not tell the Borg Queen of this timeline to open your face mask, revealing who you are, and then you win? Because all they needed to see was Girardi's face to reveal that, oh, this Borg Queen is not a danger. By the way, guys, just believe me. Just believe me that the Borg Queen is not a danger now. All of a sudden, just trust me. We know it's the Borg Queen. We know it looks exactly like she's assimilating our fleet of ships. But I'm Picard. Just believe me. You can believe me now. You never believed me on anything last season, but believe me now. Stand down. Let the Borg Queen do what she's doing. By the way, we need the Borg Queen now to stop a galactic-level cataclysmic event that we invented in this episode. We invented a cataclysmic occurrence that they specifically say is a galactic event that Starfleet had no idea was coming, and we never mentioned in the first episode. That's why the Borg arrived to request temporary access to the Federation to team up, okay, to create a collective shield barrier to block an exhaust plume from this galactic-wide fissure in space that Starfleet never noticed in order to save the galaxy. We invented this problem in the last episode. We should have had that. The primary crux of the season should have been that in episode 1. And then you go back in time in like episode 4. And then you see the Europa mission. We make it go forward as it should. And then we come back. And then we have 3 episodes back in our timeline to resolve everything so that it makes sense. We had 5 episodes straight of nothing. And yes, we did have to create the good timeline where Renee went on that rocket to Europa to find an organism that somehow we were able to use to clean up the oceans and the air. Remember when Picard originally mentioned Renee Picard? He said something about how she found some organism on Europa or something, like it wasn't important, like he wasn't up on his goddamn history. If any of these people had paid attention to history, if these people had paid attention in history class, would they not have known how to resolve the plot on their own? They would say, oh, yeah, that's right. I looked through the history books. Renee discovered this amoeba that's going to make the good timeline possible. Oh, okay. So maybe if we fix the La Serena, we can just go to Europa, get that now, and then bring it back, and then it'll solve everything way faster. With no butterflies, guys. We're just going to ensure that the good future happens by getting the microbe ourselves. So we should just focus on fixing the La Serena. Actually, the Borg Queen can help us, because the Borg Queen is so smart, she should know, right? She should know that that's how the future should play out. Right? Wrong. They didn't know that. So how do you know that? You don't know anything. You're just a viewer. You don't know. You don't know. You can't figure out how this is supposed to work. We know. We're making the canon. What we say is real. It doesn't matter if this makes no sense. It doesn't matter if 2 + 2 is 5. It don't matter. Whatever we say is real. Okay? It doesn't have to make sense. Well, guess what? Sci-fi doesn't work like that. Sci-fi... Okay, guess what? Did you know that science fiction has a higher level of discipline necessary to write for it than non-sci-fi? Because you have to make me believe that we are on this starship and we are really in the future in Star Trek. That's very hard to get a person to believe. And if you waver on those core building blocks of reality and you start to play around with how reality works, the core blocks slide out. Okay? And now I no longer believe the higher concepts above that, like the plot and what we need to do to fix the future. When you're writing sci-fi, it is a discipline. You need to know how to handle your reality. You need to define the rules, and you need to play within it. You sure as hell do not invent an item, a little stupid plastic thing from a dollar store, that lets you just think about it and then make it real, like in Season 1. And then you definitely don't forget about it in Season 2. You definitely don't just get rid of it like it's not important. And you definitely don't forget about Talon's ability to mind control people. When we revealed Talon, it was very important that nobody knew her secret that she was a supervisor. And she had the ability to control people's minds. That would have been really handy in this episode. So she didn't die. Okay, the intro is over. Let's get into the episode. Okay, let's figure out what happened in Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 10, Farewell. Okay, farewell, goodbye guys. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, we need 2 Renees. The Borg Queen said that. We need a Renee to die and a Renee to live. Why in the hell the Borg Queen was so mysterious in saying that? Only her own future depended on it. Only the future of the good future of the Borg. That's all that depended on them understanding this. So we're just going to say there has to be 1 Picard to live, 1 Renee to live, and 1 Renee to die. We figure out what that means in the plot before I do. Renee catches on to what that means. Not Renee, Talon catches on to what that means. 2 minutes before I can process it. Talon's idea is that she's going to use her holographic technology to put Renee's face over her own so that Sung can think she killed the right one and accidentally allow the real Renee to go on the Europa mission. So there's 2 of them. Sung comes in, he has neurotoxin on his hand, he touches her face, he thinks, great, I killed Renee Picard. I'm going into the good future for me. Wrong. That was Talon who put a hologram over her face. Why couldn't she just control people's minds to get out of it? Why did she have to die? I didn't understand. The fake Renee Picard walks out of the room in quarantine, getting ready for the launch, as you do. She sees Dr. Sung, knows immediately that he's going to try to kill me, proceeds to do nothing. On a whim that the Borg Queen was correct and 1 had to die and 1 had to live. Just because. So, if she is a supervisor, she is in essence living outside of the normal time frame. Okay? She lived by a code of non-interference. If she did not die, and she lived, and just evaded Sung long enough so that the real Renee Picard got away, what would be the difference in her living and dying? She's just going to go back to a life of not telling anybody what she's doing. Why does she need to talk to Renee Picard? She has a moment with Renee explaining that, the quintessential Picard dialogue, something about your mother. Because all of the writers for this season have various mental complexes to do with their parents. So Renee Picard's mother died or something. Haha, guess what? Talon tells her about that. I know everything about you. Believe me, I'm your guardian angel. So you should just trust me. Let me go out there and get killed instead of you. My dude. Just tell her to wait. Just wait. Sung, just walk out. Talon, put the hologram on. Walk out. Have Sung chase you. He'll never catch you. Your Talon, you can teleport away, by the way. Teleportation technology. Uh-oh. The launch just happened. I didn't catch Renee Picard. What's going on? Uh-oh, what? She's on the ship? Oh, I guess I failed. That's how that works. But because we needed drama, we had to kill her. Sung kills Talon. She dies in Picard's arms. Yada yada yada, dramatic scene, she's dead. But guys, I watched this episode, and I don't know why this happened, but when in 2024, Talon was wearing these very peculiar boots, these brown boots with this heel design, and I thought, oh, that's a cool looking boot. It stood out to me. When Picard saves the day and whatnot, and goes back to the future, the good future, Laris is at the vineyard wearing the same boots as Talon was in 2024. Same actress, same boots. 400 years apart. Coincidence? I think not. I think it might have just been laziness. Or, let's be gentlemen about it. Let's not call laziness. Instead, let's call it just being forgetful. We just made a mistake. Oops. We made a boo-boo. We just filmed these scenes together and we forgot to change your boots. So, unexplainably, she's wearing the same boots as someone she's supposedly not related to hundreds of years ago. I don't know why. I rewinded it. I checked. It's the same color boot. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to tell myself that they were a different color. I kept checking and checking and checking. Guys, it looks like the same boot. I've seen mistakes before, but I don't know why you would wear such a specific boot design to so that you could possibly have a flub like that. Give Talon just normal looking boots or something so that it doesn't stand out. You know, if you're not confident with your filmmaking abilities, don't try to do anything special. Just regress back into the usual crap. That's my recommendation for Star Trek going forward. Don't try anything anymore. You can't figure it out. So just either regress into the usual formulaic crap or get really, really, really stupid so that at least something fun might happen. Maybe there's a tiny chance that something so stupid will happen that it's fun. Maybe. Maybe we can get that in Season 3. Moving on. Rios, Raffi, 7 are in Soong's secret lair, and we find out that he's launching drones as a plan B. If Soong can't capture Rene Picard in person, guess what? He's going to use drones to shoot down the ship. Pretty smart. So Raffi, 7, and Rios are trying to hack in to this drone control system using Talon's technology. I guess this makes sense. The drones start to launch, but I couldn't help but notice that there's a brief moment where it's about to launch, and the launch sequence is staggered between all these drones. So you can tell when the next one's going to launch. And I was just screaming at the screen, Rios, grab the drone. Just grab it. Grab the drone. You know it's going to launch. Grab it. How powerful is it? What kind of propulsion does this drone have? Surely it can't lift a 200-pound person into the air. They're very tiny. It's only 2024. Grab the drone. I was screaming at them. You don't even have to grab it. Just push it very hard so that it goes in the wrong direction and smash it against the wall. Beat them with a hammer. Find something. Interrupt them. They even say that if they tamper with the machine, it'll go off like a bomb. But all I was thinking was, but the drones launch. Like, tamper with it. Who cares if it blows up? You're saving the future. How strong are these drones? They can't withstand the explosion of this timed bomb thing that goes off if we interfere with it. And when they leave the launch, as soon as they start to leave, how does it know that you're tampering with it anymore? Like, did you not bring a phaser? Surely Talon gave you guns. She had a cool-looking Romulan gun from the future. You know, shoot it from afar. it'll self-destruct, right? Blow it up. But because we needed a scene with something happening, we allowed the drones to launch, but then we do get direct control later, and then we just fly them into each other. So we've eliminated the problem with Rene Picard not being on the ship. We've eliminated the drones. Dr. Sung has inexplicably gained access to the astronauts, just brazenly disrespecting the staff. Just because of the donations he made, he's getting access to the staff, he's getting access to the astronauts, yelling at them. I don't know if you can do this. This is insane. Where's the security? You know? And by the way, Talon, in order to get access to Rene Picard, steals a uniform, wears it, walks all the way to her office, and no one says anything. No one notices that there's someone here that isn't supposed to be here. Oh, whoa, dude. I think there's somebody on launch day wearing a uniform who isn't supposed to be there. Am I taking crazy pills? Wow, dude. Don't tell anyone. It's fine. There's somebody there who's not supposed to be there. Speaking of Sung, who is probably not supposed to be there. His plans go to pot. But guess what? He takes a folder out of his desk. Project Con. So thanks, guys, for creating World War III. We're going forward with Project Con. Phantasmagorical. So was the Con project better than Kore? And it's just some super secret method for creating a better augmented human that, he was too powerful, so I had to seal it away. Because we couldn't control it. Like it's a cartoon. That's what happens. We look at the Project Con folder. Like, this is real. This happens. Oh my gosh. Whoa. So he's digging up old research to create a bigger and better augmented human. This time, I'm gonna stick it to those people who didn't understand me. Kore, from afar, has used a VR helmet to hack into his computer and delete everything. To delete all the memory of her family, her bygone sisters, who died so that she could live. Deleting all of it. I hope she created a backup. There's something to do with the Kore versus Dr. Sung's story in this season that I don't think morally works out the way that they think it does. I think Dr. Sung's love for them felt genuine to me. There's something, the wires are crossed on that. Maybe you can make sense of it in the comments. For me, it feels like a gray area. Maybe for you it doesn't. And I welcome your discussion on that topic. Guess what? Spoilers. I couldn't believe it. But there was a twist in this episode that I didn't see coming. Wesley Crusher is back. That's right, a guest appearance from Will Wheaton, confirming that he has indeed become a traveler, and perhaps the travelers are one and the same with the supervisors from Gary 7. Right? Do you remember the episode with the traveler? He showed up once early in TNG and then again a lot later. He was this character who had seemingly otherworld abilities, kind of like a weaker Q. Maybe a more benevolent and weaker Q, we can call him. Go check it out. I'm not going to spoil those episodes here, but suffice to say, Will Wheaton was accepted as a traveler, was given the power, somewhat, to be a surveyor of space and time, not unlike Q in a way, but very close to the supervisors. And in fact, this episode seems to indicate that they are the same thing. I'm not opposed to that idea. It makes a little bit of sense, and it ties the future back to the past in a way that has an understandable through line if you don't look that close. It's not that bad, but we did unfortunately have to see Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton was playing Will Wheaton. He was not playing Wesley Crusher. He did not remind me anything of Wesley Crusher. He looked exactly like Will Wheaton fanboying out for getting to be on Star Trek again after 20-some years. That's what I got from that performance. Guess what? He finds Corey and says, "Here, I'm recruiting you into the Travelers or the Supervisors. You want to be one? Come with me." Okay. Teleport away. I was getting a creepy vibe from Wesley. I did not think for 1 minute that what he was saying was true. And I knew about the Travelers. I kind of didn't believe him myself, to be quite honest with you. But Corey believes him. And for no reason at all, teleports away with him voluntarily, even though her safety is not guaranteed, and I can offer you two paths. One, your life is normal, which is what she always wanted. And two, you can go with me and do something that you don't understand, and I can't explain. I guess I'll take that last option. That sounds good. Hit me up with some of that. Hit me up with this weird nonsense. No, I don't require any proof. You don't have to prove anything to me. I'm Corey. I'm Dr. Sung's daughter. And now I'm free, and I can do what I want. Which gives me a license to run off with this guy that I've never met before, making these fantastical claims about things that cannot possibly be true in my current frame of mind. Sounds reasonable. Yep. That sounds like something that would happen in reality. Maybe in the new constructed reality of the Picard universe, the Picardiverse, maybe it makes sense. It made sense in the warped mental reality of these writers. It doesn't make sense in my mind. That's it for Corey. That's it for Sung. That's it for Wesley. Borg Queen's off, creating the good future where she's not alone anymore. What's left to do? Rios has decided to stay in the past. I'm not joking. Rios has said, I'm not going back to the future. I'd like to stay in the past. That's right. I stole the body of the alternate bad timeline Rios. I inhabited his body. I sent that body back to the past. I'm leaving that body in the good past to help create the good future. In fact, it was necessary that I was here all along. Who was the captain of the Stargazer? When they go back to the future, someone asked where Captain Rios was. What are you going to tell them? How did we get to this future if we're now establishing that we're in the one timeline theory? If Rios is missed by anyone on that ship, we're in the one timeline theory of time travel. We did not actually create the alternate future. We fixed our future, but plucked out certain things, and now the average person who lived in that timeline has to deal with the fact that certain things did not happen the way they remember them. If the Borg Queen is good in this timeline, what happened at Wolf 359? Did that happen? We remembered Captain Rios. Where's Captain Rios? What happened at Wolf 359? What happened last season? Where's Hugh? Where's the Borg artifact? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. We went back in time. Guinan didn't know who we were. We're back in the future. They don't know where Rios went. Something doesn't smell good. Something smells bad. I don't understand. Guess what? I don't have an IQ of 3,000. I don't understand exactly how time travel plots are supposed to work. Therefore, I don't like them and I avoid them. Do you know how this worked? Do you understand how this plot exactly worked out so that it made sense? I'm sorry if I don't forget things easily. I don't run from emotional roller coaster to emotional roller coaster. I don't work like that. I see facts, I put them together in a fact pattern, and then I decide what should happen and then compare it to what did happen. That's called logic. Q is dying. He gets his send-off. What did Q want? It turned out Q sent all these people back into the past, set all these events in motion, so that he didn't have to die alone, because he wanted a hug from Picard. So in order to not die alone, Q had to make himself out to be the worst villain possible, to make Picard angry, so that he would come back to give him a hug at the end. He could have just got a hug at the beginning. Why didn't Q just say, guess what, I'm dying. Picard, I always liked you. Can I get a hug? Picard probably would have hugged him, because Picard is Picard, and Q was Q. We didn't need to go on this adventure. We didn't need to know that Picard's mom killed herself and Picard saw it. By the way, Picard puts the key back that he used to unlock the door in the future. Even though this shouldn't be the same timeline as that. So maybe it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. But Q is Q. We have to accept that he's all-knowing. And if he says it, it's true. So, Picard, you put the key back. You learn to accept yourself. Now maybe you can accept somebody loving you. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't understand. But apparently Q has seen it fit to die now in a blaze of glory, showing everyone how to be good, how to be nice, how to love. Okay, it's all about love. This season, it's about not being lonely. It's about not being lonely, guys. We don't want to be lonely no more. I don't want to be lonely no more, said Q, said the Borg Queen. Yeah, whatever. Q snaps us back to the future. And we're right back in episode 1. I may have inadvertently revealed what happens next in a fit of rage at the beginning of this review, but we come back just in time to save the galaxy from a cataclysmic event that we need the Borg Queen's help to solve. And the Borg Queen takes off her mask, revealing it's Jurati. Holy crap. Why couldn't we just have taken the mask off at the beginning? Was it not Jurati in episode 1? If it wasn't Jurati in episode 1, what does that mean? If it wasn't Jurati, who was it that gave them the idea to seek out the help of the Federation at that moment? It had to have been Jurati. So in that first episode, there had to have been normal Jurati and Borg Jurati had to have been there in order for this to work. Does that make sense? If yes, that means she should have taken the mask off, told normal Jurati things that only she would know to confirm that we're on the same level here, and just trust me, I need your help, and I'm explaining the situation to you now. No, we had to be all mysterious about it, so that we could watch 10 episodes of nothing! Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I don't know what I expected. They had the gall to have a photograph in Guinan's bar of Rios in the past with Teresa. You know, that girl he met in 2024? The picture was on the wall, I guess, the entire time. So now, the past is not changed. The past is the past we were in from the beginning, because Guinan takes the time out of her day to mention that it was always there, and you just never noticed it. So if it was always there, and he never noticed it, that means the new past is real, and was real before the season started. Why was Guinan withholding this information? Why didn't she just say, take Rios back to the past? It's necessary for such and such reasons. He told me, because he used to come into this bar, by the way, hundreds of years ago. Okay. Philosophically, I don't know what the hell is going on in this episode. I don't know what this means. Learning to accept your faults so that you can fully be loved by people that you want to love you. Okay, alright. I mean, we're reverse engineering Tapestry, we're reverse engineering First Contact, we're reverse engineering The Voyage Home. I don't know what the point of any of it is. We ruined the Borg forever. Rios was completely destroyed as a character, and he didn't start from a good place to begin with. Elnor is back just because he's back. He died, but he was just snapped back by Q on the Excelsior in the last episode. I don't know. If Q is that powerful, did any of this matter? He was dying. I really believed that his powers were fading and were gone. But he still had the power to send everyone back to the good future. So I don't know what it was. Why did he get Sung to try to run over Picard with a car? He baited Sung into trying to run over Rene Picard by offering him a cure for his daughter. He fails. He gives the cure to the daughter anyway. And Sung hates this. Because reasons. I don't know. I don't know why. Why did Q, I guess, always had his powers, and I was mistaken because I was trying to make sense of this plot, and the writers weren't. Okay? Q dies. Good riddance. I don't know. I don't want to see him ever again now. So goodbye. And unfortunately, he flicks all the characters back into the future, and they live, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they don't die. Picard's alive, unfortunately. Seven's alive, unfortunately. Raffi and Elnor are unfortunately alive. They have to survive to potentially see the unending horrors of Season 3. I'm so sorry that you had to live to see this. When the clock switched over to May 5th, the day this episode went live, I tried to see if these episodes were online yet, and imagine my excitement, though, when I found out that they weren't, and I breathed a sigh of relief, noticing that I didn't have to actually watch these yet. Thank you. Give me a few more hours of peace and solitude. Oh well, it wasn't to last. I had to watch it, and I had to review it. Musically, they sleazily stole the TNG theme, or the motion picture theme, really, twice. Once when Will Wheaton arrived, and then, I shit you not, when you're making a show, you're not supposed to cut the audio at the same time as you cut the video. Did you know this? When you're making a edit, you want to have the audio play longer than the video cut, so that the audio creates a bridge for the viewer into the next scene, so it doesn't feel jarring. Go back and watch this again. The TNG theme plays when Will Wheaton is there. The video and the audio cut at the same time. It creates a jarring effect, and it takes you out of the experience and reveals the fact that you are watching a show and are not experiencing something real. That's the effect of that. So the audio is a huge fail. It took me out of it immediately when I experienced that. It is the first... I learned this in high school. It's one of the first things they teach you in film. Is to not cut your audio and your video at the exact same time, unless you're trying to create a jarring effect, which could work if you're smart, but these people aren't, and I was completely taken out of it. So good job trying to even ruin the TNG theme for me. Thanks. You even tried to put the theme in, and you messed it up, and you took me out of the experience. And then you had the audacity to use the beautiful First Contact music in the final episode while all of our characters are reminiscing at a bar in their debrief, so to say. I heard it play, and I was so glad Jerry Goldsmith isn't here to see it, because this episode is such a pile of trash. I mean, even First Contact, where that theme debuted, it's not a perfect movie, but the theme is gorgeous, and it didn't deserve to be in this episode. It just doesn't do to have the First Contact music in this episode, and it was there. Visually, this is the only possible highlight, is that we do go back to the normal timeline future. We go back to 2400 and some, and we do see some ships. We do see what is inexplicably called the Excelsior, even though it looks different. Is it the Excelsior like C or B or something? They don't point it out. And I look at some of the behind the scenes information. Its class is referred to as the Excelsior 2 class. I've never seen 2 after a class name before in my life, but it's there. It's the Excelsior, I guess. It looked kind of cool. We've seen the Stargazer again. That's cool. The Borg ship was there at the end. It looked like a horrifying mess, but it's par for the course given that we ruined the Borg. So the Borg were cool, and they had these ships that were so iconic. They are embedded in the minds of all sci-fi fans. You know, those guys with the cubes? Very cool. But we ruined the Borg, and now their ship is like a gigantic starfish with too many prongs sticking out. I don't know. Didn't do anything for me. And by the way, I'm getting tired of the new graphical style of these shows. All the visual artifacts. The screen is so dirty. What kind of camera were you filming this with? It looks like a potato. Ugh. And Girardi looked awful as the Borg Queen. I'm not... You take a character... This had to have been a joke. This was a joke. I'm sure this was a joke. They took the character whose face was already too tiny for her head, and then they stuck that face onto a Borg Queen head to make it even more bulbous and insane. The Borg Queen was always unsettling and scary, but now it's awkward and comedic. So, it's par for the course for Picard. You know, it's on brand. That's all I can say, is that we're perfectly on brand this episode. Music, sleazy, visuals, there's something to look at. Philosophically, I don't know. Maybe it meant something for you. I don't know what I was looking at. That's Star Trek Picard Season 2. Completely done. Farewell. They have announced Season 3 will have all of our friends returning from TNG. Could you imagine my excitement if I had seen that announcement 10 years ago? All my family are coming back from TNG. Now, after having seen 2 seasons of this nonsense, I don't want them to come back. I just want them to die off screen. Just say that they just died in a boating accident. I don't want to see them anymore. I'm sorry. It feels like I'm cutting off all of my toes and all of my fingers. I don't want them anymore. I don't need them anymore. I'm done. That's Season 2. Did you enjoy it? There was no reason to watch it. My official recommendation is to watch episode 1, 2, and then 10. And you're done. Just infer the rest. It's more fun. What you come up with in your mind to fill in the gaps will be more interesting than what they wrote and got paid millions of dollars to write, by the way. Yeah, these people got lots and lots and lots of money, and they will be held to absolutely no standards. They will be impugned nothing. They will incur no losses. It's very frightening to me that Picard, the show, had creative input from Patrick Stewart. You know, how can you have a writer's room this big and nobody can detect the shit and flick it away? Or is that the problem? Is there too many people in the writer's room? Is there too many executives? Too many cooks spoil the broth, as they say. Spoil the plum McBroth. I could go for some right now. All that being said, this episode was slightly better than the last episode, simply because this episode ended the season, and it's done. For that reason alone, I'm giving it a 4. Just between you and me, last episode probably should have been a 2. It was way worse than I was giving it credit for. Which would make this episode about a 3. But I'm not going back on that. I'm giving this episode a 4. Okay? It's done. We're done. Nobody worry about it. It's gone. It's in the rearview mirror. It's gone now. It's gone. Run forward. Don't look back. Just keep running. Run away from it. Pretend it didn't happen. Whew. So, thanks for all your views. You guys have been great. Views are going up. Hate for Picard has been going up. Are they correlated? If I were a smart person, I would just move on immediately to reviewing Strange New Worlds, because Strange New Worlds episode 1 came out on the same day as this. But I'm going to be a nice guy, and I'm going to hold to my promise that I'm going to be doing a video response to all of your comments since my last comment response video, because you guys are worth it for sticking it out with me and putting all your great comments, which have been fantastic, by the way. And I want to be able to reply to them in video while I still can. I think it's important to be interactive with your community in some way. Okay? What the fans have to say is important. It is not something you ignore. Okay? Take a page out of that book, Kurtzman. See you guys later.